Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Thank you for joining me today on my channel for this process video using the limited edition March My Creative Scrapbook kit. And so as you can see, I'm tearing some strips out of this blue plaid paper. I must have cut out a section of it previously, so it wouldn't go all the way up and down my page for the full 12 inches. So I'm going to tear it into strips to kind of get that side border that I want. I want to pop a blue to match the blue in this cute little kiddo's eyes. And so this kit is mostly toddler time from 49 and Market, but there is this K and Company piece that I'm using for my background with those florals. So another piece of the kit is the cutfile, and so it is a wreath with I believe it's Love Life, and then some florals. But I wanted it to be bigger, and so I am cutting it into sections, and then I'm going to sew it down, and then the gap pieces are going to be covered behind a floral embellishment I'm going to do up there off the top left. And so I'm going to take her photo and go ahead and back it on some tissue paper. And you'll see I am using the same colors that I backed my two flowers with. I did that off camera. And I actually don't end up using these little flowers. They came out really cute, but the colors just weren't working for me, even though they're colors from the kit. I think it's mainly the navy was just a little too dark for me. And so um, I did like how they worked with the flowers because I centered them over the starburst sections of that pink and navy paper, and that worked out really well. But I'll use them on a different layout. So another thing you get in your kit are, of course, the dimensional flowers. And so I have used quite a few of them on previous layouts. So this one, I wanted it to have a little bit more pink to it. There are some pink flowers in the laser cuts, but I wanted a little bit more. So I sprayed them with warm lipstick. And then I sprayed a couple of them with least fossilized amber and picked raspberry, and those were all spritzes. And so this is the title that I want to use is this chipboard piece that has the florals and that says sunshine. And so I have a couple of Shimmerz paints there. I believe one is Lots of Lips, and the other one I don't remember. I'll try to put it in the description. And then I have Don't Citron Me is this green that I'm using now. And so with this cut file, I did cover it with white gesso first, just so that the colors would be a bit more true. And for the darker green, that is Emerald City. So for the sunshine part, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to use enamel glaze. And so I've picked out speckled egg to do this with. And I'm going to go ahead and cover some of my flowers to protect those a little bit and go ahead and emboss and cover my title with that embossing glaze. And I do that actually twice to get it how I want it. So this is how we're coming out. I've stitched down the side of the border blue piece there in a zigzag stitch and also use that same stitch around my wreath. And now I just need to figure out my clusters. I was thinking about doing mixed media of some sort on here, but first of all, it ends up feeling like it's fine without it. It's got plenty going on. And then the paper, I did put clear gesso on it. And it just, some papers just were not meant for a lot of water, even with gesso, and I think this is one of them. So I am sticking with primarily embellishments in what I've already done to the page. And so that's kind of the look I'm going for. Now, I haven't decided for sure where my title is going to go, but I'm going to do some layering pieces. I have that Winnie the Pooh tag there that I thought was adorable, and the colors work really well. And so now I just need to figure out what pieces are going to go where. Um, so yeah, I am using a lot of the pieces, obviously, from the laser cuts as well from the toddler time. That's where a lot of the florals are coming from. And I'm going to build my clusters and then do a lot of the adhesive parts off camera. And so, but this is what my clusters are primarily going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and lift up my photo just a little bit so I can tuck things down underneath. And I am also going to go ahead and back it with those same um, or that mint paper and then kind of a peachy paper. And maybe if I had backed it with that navy, I would have felt better about leaving the flowers there. But I didn't, and so missed opportunity there. But I'm going to ink up the edges, and I've scraped them up a little bit. Now I believe I am using. I'm pretty sure I use a gray to ink my edges, and so it's one of the Tim Holtz grays. Again, I'll put it in the notes, and maybe I'll just get into a practice of adding all the colors that I use in the notes since I'm really so bad about remembering what I use when I'm doing my voiceovers. So there's a couple of cute tags from Toddler Time as well. So I'm going to use one of those above the pink tag and just to kind of elongate that area a little bit. And these are some of the florals I'm going to be using. And I actually like how this is looking with the title where it is, but that title is going to move. And I don't remember what it was that made me move it, but um, it is going to go down to the bottom left. And so I'm considering those flowers. And if, like I said, if there'd been maybe a little bit more navy, I would have left it, but it feels like it's just a little too strong, particularly once I get some of these other flowers on here. Another thing I could have done was just, die cut out some navy flowers, but there's always so many different things you can do, and sometimes you just have to make a decision and go forward with it. So some of the other little elements in the Toddler Time ephemera bits were the little sheep, and so I'm going to use some of the little sheep on this layout. I like this little tag that says little. Um, and now I'm just auditioning some word strips, and I decide to go with the book plate style on this layout. Felt like they stood out a little bit more from the clusters. And other than that, I'm trying to think of what other. Oh, yes. So I really like the message on this card. So I'm going to trim it down so it is not so large, and that card is going to go up to the top left. And I'm also going to see. I was still trying to add a little bit more blue, so I do add that little blue strip to the left or to the right as well. And so found a bigger one, and I like that, but not enough to save that blue flower. So gonna go ahead and adhere that down. And I think that is why the title ends up moving. I really love that the sentiment on that journaling card or tag, I think it used to be. And so the title is going to move down there to the bottom left. So I have at this point adhered everything. So this is how everything ends up on my layout. I've eliminated some of the things that had ended up under her photo, so I took those away to make room for my title. I added that a couple of butterflies, some sheep, and now I'm going to go ahead and use some splatters, just some white picket fence splatters on the layout. And that is going to complete my layout. I'm looking at it now thinking, gosh, should have added some black too, but nope, nope, going to be strong. And this is how it's going to end up. So thank you for joining me today. You can find all the details for My Creative Scrapbook in the description. I'll be sure to put a link as well as the colors that I use, like I said, for the mixed media aspect. Please like or subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.